In the past 10 years, a not-for-profit organization called CREST has been facilitating collaborative R&D activities in Malaysia. It leveraged on the strengths and commitments of the E&E industry and universities. CREST is backed by the Malaysian federal government through EPU, MITI, MOSTI, MIDA and NCIA. Under CREST purview, 85 projects were successfully completed in the period 2012 to 2022. As a result of these successes, 22 R&D projects have been implemented and 52 intellectual property or IP applications have been filed. 2022 marks the 10th anniversary of CREST. Session 2 of the CREST Video Series 2022 reviews CREST's biggest achievements in its 10-year history other than its GAN-on-GAN program, which was covered in Session 1.
Welcome to the second CREST 2022 video session. Looking back, it has been a hectic but rewarding 10 years for CREST. The facts and figures show that we have done some good things R&D-wise. Our successes are successes for Malaysia, our manufacturing industry, our universities, and also for the Malaysian workforce of the future. In this session, we will review CREST's biggest successes other than the GAN-on-GAN program, which we spoke about in the previous session. Today, we will welcome Mr. K.Y. Gun, Executive Chairman of TT Vision Holdings Berhad, Mr. Chia Hun Wah, the Founder and Chief Technology Officer of Oppstar, Dr. Naya Hussein MD, the Founder of Medicine, Mr. Solomon Lotu, Vice President and Managing Director of Penang Operations and Interim Country Manager of Motorola Solutions, and Prof. Dr. Zaidi Muhammad Ripin, the Lecturer of Mechanical Engineering at USM and his very own Vibration Lab. One of our greatest hits is on the improved audio performance in two-way radio project that resulted in a US patent filing. Mr. Solomon and Prof. Dr. Zaidi, would you kindly give us a quick briefing on this project? Mr. Solomon?
Sure. Let me just give you a little bit of a background, Jeffrey, because in Malaysia, Motorola established in a very humble beginning as being a manufacturing facility. And over the years, we have built up our capacity and capability in the areas of R&D. So now we are a fully integrated R&D center responsible of conceptualizing, designing, developing, and launching leading-edge mission-critical two-way radio solutions, which we are a global leader. And this goes to first responders and public safety agencies around the world when they are at the most important task that they are performing in the moments that matter. And one of those challenges with audio communications, Jeffrey, is communicating over a two-way radio solution in the midst of a blowing wind. So this was the problem statement that we brought over to Professor Zaidi, and he's amazing. He's a legend now within the ranks of Motorola, as I must insist, because why? Penang established its foundational expertise in audio through this collaboration, where we are able to generate a solution that we are able to put into a product portfolio that got shipped across the world. So what happened was that the traditional way of doing a wind potting design requires a big geometry. That means a footprint on that device is big, it's large. So large space is required. So as you know, as the device's space is getting smaller, so this ask of maintaining or improving this wind noise performance was a challenge, and our engagement through CREST, and thank you CREST, we were able to be connected with Prof in USM, and we started a project with Prof, and probably I would allow Prof now to articulate the challenge that was given to him and what are the heavy lifting that was done behind the scenes by his team.
Prof. Zaidi?
All right, thank you, Solomon. Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, it was the first project we at the Vibration Lab, School of Mechanical Engineering USM, with Motorola, and it was approached with a lot of trepidation because we know that the industry is very hard on their customers, so we have to meet the expectations, and the expectations are quite high, and we are not used to this kind of multi-physics problem. It was about in midway of this research work that we discovered that there's something to be learned about the generation of vortices at the age of the two-way radio that influence the amount of noise being generated. And to our surprise, that the cut-off frequency at 3 kilohertz really affect the intelligibility of the speech transmitted through the two-way radio. And that compounded with other effects because the wind is not one direction, many directions, and it creates a lot more variability into the system. But by understanding the physics of it, we were able to use this knowledge in order to position the microphone in the optimum place. So that led to the reduction of the noise generated from the vortex.
Absolutely. In fact, Prof. Zaidi is a serial collaborator, I must say.
Sought after consultant now.
Yes. So
new post now.
Yes, serial collaborator with CREST, and he has been with us in multiple initiatives, and we were delightful in seeing how he is now an entrepreneur in himself, in trying to solve business problems with multiple clients that are usually based in Malaysia. Yeah, Prof?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is wonderful because I think the spillover effect of this one project is that we've also enabled the university to now be very much industry facing, especially in this particular endeavor.
That create another culture that is we really need a new set of vision and a new set of perhaps attitude towards research, which is being applied directly to the industry. And I think CREST has helped in bringing this collaboration together and creating a new culture, I think, in a research culture, whereby science must now talk to industries in order to solve industrial problems. I've always emphasized that research must be in context. If you lose that context, then research will not be as meaningful or as impactful as it should be.
Wonderfully said, Prof. I was told that one US patent was filed in 2014 and granted in 2018. Can you talk through a bit about that one?
So, and that's what I say is icing on the cake, isn't it, Jeffrey? Okay. So with this engagement, US patent was filed back in, like what you said, in 2014. So this was titled as a slim tunnel wind pod for communication devices that was incorporating the said slim geometry as part of the patent coverage. So and to boot, I would say this engagement also yielded to MSc graduates, right? So let's not forget the people's hard work eventually led to a productive outcome, not only for the company, but also for the students and the university. So it's a win-win collaboration. I love what Prof was said, how you put the word research on the front in the context of how we become industry facing. So I think we need more of this, Jeffrey. Let's simply put.
Okay, so I'm going to give a bit of airing time to Prof here to maybe talk a little bit about the Vibration Lab at USM. Can you tell us very briefly what is it since that project, and what are the kind of things that you do at the Vibration Lab?
Thank you, Jeff. There's a lot of things we do. We cover almost everything that related to vibration and the associated things that, as a result of vibration, you create a noise from that, and vibration itself create more problems for human being associated if those unwanted vibrations, hand-arm vibrations, and then those work-related injuries and so on, but also on the audio side, the noise levels and so on. So we were looking at how to apply science and bring value the application of science, because that is the culture that's, I think, is missing. I might be wrong, but on the side, as a scientist, we would really like to see this knowledge that people gain from hard work of studying being put into practice and bring value in terms of economic terms and business competitiveness to the local bodies. So these are the things that we are working on, and I'm very happy to work with Motorola. Great minds that brings a lot of confidence in me that Malaysia has great futures, wonderful students, wonderful engineers. Some of them are USM students, of course, but as always, being a teacher from USM, I'm very proud of whatever the students have done, and also our capability to provide global solutions, and that put Penang, Motorola itself in a very good position globally. So that's my take on it, Jeff.
Thank you so much. So, gentlemen, I think we've covered this segment quite completely. Thank you so much for your time. So, I would like to invite Mr. KY Gun to talk about machine vision system for microcrack detection in solar wafers that are used in the manufacturing of solar energy panels. Mr. Gun?
All right. Okay. We started this project way back in, I think, 12 years ago with USM. We have run through a couple of MOA with USMs, and in particularly, I think about 8 years ago, we signed this MOA together with CREST, and through CREST, their funding actually channeled to USM to develop, co-develop with us on this photoluminescence imaging for microcrack detection for photovoltaic wafer and cell. Right. This particular project is in my opinion, is very interesting because it basically very novel imaging technologies that we use to reveal the visible defects, in the silicon materials, unlike any commonly heard about the visible spectrum. Normally we talk about visible spectrum, and this particular technology is run in near infrared, and that helps to reveal the underneath defects in the materials, and we see the tremendous take off of this commercialization rate after we complete the developments. And so far, we have been deployed, I think, more than 50 systems throughout for global customers. Yeah, and we still continue to deploy these products or the commercial results of these developments, and we have been selling these as we call that vision modules, embedded with these. It's an AI-driven image processing algorithms, we call that, right? So this development basically very much focused on the AI segments. Basically, we have been developing AI know-how or AI algorithms for many years, seeing and being 2010s, and we have been working with USMs, in particular on certain AI techniques that they are very good at, and through these co-developments of AI algorithms, we managed to put these piece of software or AI's software into our systems, and that actually boosts up the performance of the photoluminescence imaging detections performance. Yeah, we are confident that this is something that we are seeing continuous market acceptance. In fact, this year we also saw a number of systems adopting these developments results, and through this CREST sponsor R&D projects, together with USM.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, fantastic. How many countries is your machines in these days?
I guess we have been selling to several countries and prominent countries. Of course, we have been selling a lot to Malaysia, also in US, We also have system now running in Korea and China, and also in Philippines.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that's the carbon coverage that we have, you know.
Congratulations. I think it's a fantastic achievement between you and the USM team. And I think you've seen some great value in collaborating together. And I'm very proud of you, Mr. Good.
Yeah, certainly, and it is sometimes it's not just purely between the industry and academia, but also the bridge between them are equally important in terms of fundings and also in terms of matching of the right parties together, and that is,
Yes,
I think that is
absolutely.
the very instrumental roles as well played by CREST all this to us, particularly to us and also to USM on this project.
Thank you. Thank you. We have also been serving the community through our incubator for new tech companies to start up and to take root in this country and to grow in Malaysia but beyond. So in that context, I would like to welcome Mr. Chia Hunwa, who is a co-founder of Oppstar, to share his story with us. Mr. Chia?
Yeah, thank you very much, Jeffrey. Now, Oppstar came a long way, right? First and foremost, I'd like to formally congratulate, right, CREST, building the nation's collaborations, focusing into the research, science, and technology. However, this is actually a technology company. Our focus is focusing into the IC design, right? Our focus actually pretty aligned with the collaborations and also the research. However, I would say our key component is focusing into the 2D, the design and development for the various top-notch IC chips. We started off back in early days with a handful of few of us. This is a three business partners company with the multi-years of track records into the design and development. We started small and we have our early journey as incubators. We started off our office in CREST, this collaborations area. We rented, and I think through the working together and the mentorship through CREST, I would actually give a plus point and really appreciate and recognize CREST efforts through that. We cruise away our journey actually, and up to today, we are actually a 200 strong man's IC designs company. Our key various components is not only the IC design and encompass into the various ASIC, SoC, FPGA, various RF component, and also some of the sensor technology, right? Not to mention the recent year, we have our own artificial intelligence focusing into the neural networks protocol. We successfully taped out the first chips years back. And recently, we actually successfully managed to get quite a bit of design win in the regional area, right? Be it Industrial 4.0, right? Throughout the various continents of the world. North America, we successfully have some design win, and even the East Asia, right? Japan, Korea, we have quite some collaborations cruising through that. Now, the other element from Oppstar is actually with the design per se, we actually, recent year, we already successfully expand beyond the functional design from the analog and also digital design. We actually cruise away to successfully completed various IP as well as turnkey design, working together with some of the renowned multinational company. So this is a serious company. However, I would say that the techno entrepreneurships are there, right? So during this CREST 10 years anniversaries, I congratulate CREST for the good achievement for the past, and we look forward to working together with CREST for the many decades to come. And that should be the model the nations continue cruising through. Now, one more data point that I like to share is actually we see from an Oppstar perspective today, we have officially, we are actually a Berhad company from Oppstar Technology Shenzhen Berhad, focusing into the design services. Today, we have our artificial intelligence Iris Lab subsidiary that focusing into the product development. So we see quite some succession or expansion, and today the company actually officially, I'm pleased to announce that we are a Berhad company. Knowing that the listings in progress, yeah. So that is actually one milestone that the company move forward, and I'm looking forward for the next excitement decades to go.
Absolutely, absolutely. Congratulations, Hunwa, for an excellent journey. We saw you grow from strength to strength, with your partners, and going through the hard times. As you say, a lot of hard work was put in, and I can see everybody working really, really hard to get to where you are today. And if I can say so, this is something that is due to the country. People with knowledge of technology who used to be with multinational companies are able to use that knowledge to build their own enterprise and to prosper and to hire Malaysians to be part of that journey too. So I think that is a wonderful success story right there.
Today, from our customer base is pretty rich. We have North America, Europe, and also the East Asia, various countries. We managed to won quite a bit of substantial design win through our design. And with our current patent portfolio, we have tens of IP patents filing through US Patent Office and also the across other continents as well.
We're very excited for you, and we wish you all the best. We're all behind you, all the way, Mr. Hunwa.
Thank you.
So now we turn into another part of our journey with an interesting story with our collaboration with Medicine, who is based out of Australia. And with this, I would like Dr. Naya Hussain to tell his story on what happened with our collaboration with Medicine. Dr. Naya?
Thank you very much, Jeffrey, and it's a pleasure to be on this discussion with you today. Our story with Medicine is that we have invented the world's first AI-enabled stethoscope. And during the prototype and design of it, we were looking for a place to manufacture the device. Now, back then, 2015, the world was a different place, and we traveled to all across the world, to China, Taiwan, Korea, and I was pleased to say we ended up selecting Malaysia as our country of manufacture for this device. And it's a journey that is a Pandora's box of wonderful opportunities, and it's been quite a great journey in partnership with CREST and our manufacturer there in Malaysia.
If you don't mind me asking, why Malaysia? I mean, you've got a whole selection, Taiwan, China, and everybody. Why Malaysia?
No, it's a great question. Primarily for us, we were introduced actually to the ecosystem in Malaysia by a great mentor of mine, Professor Sinsky at MIT. And he'd done a lot of work in Malaysia. And he said to me, look, he knew that I've been traveling around the world looking for great partners. And he said, look, there's a really great ecosystem in Penang that you should explore. And he was in KL at that time. We were meeting with him. And I think if the necessary contacts were made, and I think we flew up to Penang. We met with you. And as I say, the rest is history. And very quickly through CREST, we were able to be put in touch and introduced to very, very capable manufacturers with a long history and expertise. So what that, and the partnership and the ecosystem there was also an introduction to manufacturers, but also to the Ministry of Health, through to universities as well, medical schools. So that was music to our ears in the sense that we've got this fantastic ecosystem where within the stone's throw, we're able to access key opinion leaders from across those partnerships as well. And, obviously in other countries, you have the challenges of the language, the culture and things like that. So it was very easy for us to slide into working with and establishing a great relationship with our partners there in Penang.
So maybe if you can help me describe the product, Stati Pro, for the audience. Okay.
Thank you. So it is the world's first AI-enabled stethoscope, and it's an elegantly designed device that's simple to use, fits in the palm of your hand. It's super accurate, medical grade, so it's manufactured to the highest specifications of medical device manufacturing for a global market. And if you put the device on your chest, it records your heart and lung sounds and transmits these to a mobile phone and to the cloud for easy access and analysis. So it removes the traditional stethoscope is very subjective. 4 different doctors would have 4 different opinions listening to someone's heart and lung sounds. So this device removes the subjectiveness about it, and it allows anyone to be able to understand and detect and screen for heart and lung disease. So what that means is, the device can be used easily and safely by doctors, all healthcare professionals, and even by patients as well. So I'm proud to say that through our relationship with our manufacturer, we were able to come out with a product that has met the world's highest regulatory approval for medical devices at the US FDA. But then also not just one approval, but we've got 2 approvals now from the US FDA. That's for our cardiac and respiratory algorithms. But then, as you've said also, that we do have the Malaysian medical device approval as well. So it's wonderful to see that, Malaysia, the MDA has looked at this device and approved it for use within Malaysia, which really is a positive thing, because it's, bringing a product like this into the health ecosystem in Malaysia will put Malaysia at the forefront globally around adopting this new technology to empower healthcare professionals to improve the efficiency, the quality and standard of care for all Malaysians.
Okay.
I think the relationship with CREST has been, CREST really has been a catalyst for medicine. We were a startup, and it helped to accelerate us to a stage where we were able to reach out. With the initial manufacturing, we were able to take units out to testing in the US, and then on for US FDA clearance. And then working with Clarion as well, the CEO of Clarion has been like a mentor to me as well, and really believed in us and took a big risk with a startup from Australia. But the combined vision of the people we worked with at CREST and at Clarion really gave us confidence and inspired us that we had selected the right partners, because they truly believe in the vision and mission that we had to democratize healthcare, to make AI devices affordable to everyone. And that's why, we're at Medicine, we're committed to kind of enhancing the relationship with the CREST. We want to bring CREST into discussions around our MDAI Labs consortium to begin clinical trials and more research into algorithms in Malaysia. And then our R&D on our next products will hopefully all be done in Penang with Clarion as well. So we're looking forward to a long relationship and presence in Penang.
Thank you. Well, I hope you enjoyed hearing about our greatest hits, as well as our wonderful stories of Stati and Oppstar. In the past 10 years, 85 R&D projects were successfully completed in Malaysia by Malaysians under the CREST banner. We really wish we can talk about all CREST's successes, but that would really take a long video session. If you wish to find out more about CREST, please visit our website, crest.my. Allow me to sign off by saying that CREST is at the forefront of collaborative R&D in Malaysia. Our success are successes for Malaysia, for our E&E industry, our universities, the tech and innovation ecosystem, and also for Malaysian workforce of the future. In our 3rd CREST video session, we will discuss CREST's role in talent development and how we are nurturing the growth of new generation of Malaysian tech professionals and technopreneurs. Thanks for listening in. Please join us in our 3rd CREST session coming soon.